What's up YouTube? I'm here to do my prediction video for UFC Fight Night Gonzaga versus Pro Cop 2. Let's just be real right before we even start. The only reason this card is even worth watching at all is because of the main event. If it wasn't for that, this card probably won't even happen. Just need to get that out there. Most of these guys are, I think like at least half of this card is people making their debut, so let's get started. First fight is Tyler Lumpus versus Rocky Lee. And Rocky Lee was on that Ultimate Fighter China, so I think they're trying to give him a fight that he can win. Both these guys are jiu-jitsu guys, but I think Rocky Lee wins. Just because, like I said, I think they try to feed them the wins just because they want to grow that Asian market. Next is Marshall Baldwin versus Stephen Ray. And I think Stephen Ray wins. He's kind of a jiu-jitsu guy, and Marshall Baldwin's biggest weakness is his submission defense. I think all of his losses came by submission, and most of Stephen Ray's wins have come by submission. So Stephen Ray by submission, just like with Rocky Lee. Next is Isabel Burdick versus Alexandria Aldudo. Both these chicks are making their debut, and Alexandria, she only has one fight, and I think Isabel Burdick has like 8 or 9, so I'm gonna pick Isabel, just solely by experience. I haven't really seen most of these people fight, so it's just a little bit harder to make accurate predictions on them. Next we got Daniel Oskolich versus Anthony Hamilton, and to me, Oskolich is just better at except for wrestling. I think he's better everywhere. I think he's the better striker and the better jiu-jitsu guy. I think as long as he can stop the takedowns, he'll win by knockout, because Anthony Hamilton doesn't have a great chance. So I'll pick Oskolich by knockout, either late first or early second. Next is Damian Stacks versus Yatin Meza, and I think this one could go either way. I'll pick Damian Stacks by knockout just because Yatin Meza to me hasn't looked very good in any of his UFC fights, and I just think Stacks looks like he has potential to be pretty decent. Next is Sergio Moraes versus Malik Labout. Both these guys are jiu-jitsu guys, and obviously Sergio Moraes, in my opinion, is one of the top 5 jiu-jitsu guys who's ever competed in the UFC. So, two grapplers going against each other, and one of them is clearly vastly superior. I think Sergio Moraes wins by, first round submission. Next we got Brooks Finbisk versus Gareth McKellen, and this is basic striker versus grappler, but the difference is, Bortez has never been finished, and Gareth has been knocked out in his 2 or 3 losses. So I'm going to go with Bortez. I say he keeps this standing and wins by first round knockout. Last on the prelim card, we got Leon Edwards versus Seth Baczynski. I'm going to take Baczynski. I think Baczynski just fights smart for this one just because he's lost 2 in a row. Even though they were both fight of the nights, he's still lost 2 in a row, so I think Baczynski just fights a smart fight and wins by submission late. Onto the main card, we got Joanne Calderwood versus Mariah Moraz, and I think they're trying to feed Joanne Calderwood this win so that way she can get the title fight with that Polish chick that just won the strawweight belt. So I think Joanne Calderwood wins by TKO, probably late second, early third. Next we got Paul Pollock versus Sheldon Westcott, and Sheldon Westcott was the runner-up on that Ultimate Fighter Canada versus Australia, and Paul Pollock lost to that jiu-jitsu guy who was 0-3, and he just got dominated. So Paul Pollock doesn't look that great to me, and Sheldon Westcott does look good. I think the only problem is he kind of fights at such a fast pace that he kind of tires himself out. I think as long as he paces himself, Sheldon Westcott can be a real guy to watch. So I'll pick Sheldon Westcott by finish. I say late first, early second. Next we got Jimmy Manuwa versus John Blankowitz, and I think they want John to win this fight, but I remember he got TKO'd by Sokaju, so his striking is not, even though he won his debut by body kick, he's not the greatest striker ever. He's really more of a grappler, and I think that's gonna, I don't think he has the grappling credentials to beat Jimmy. I think Jimmy wins like how he's won every fight before the Alexander Gustafsson fight. I think he's just the more athletic, stronger guy, and I think Jimmy wins by knockout, probably in the first round, maybe the second, but I'm going to say the first just because I think there's a huge gap in their striking. Don't let that fight that John had against Ilir Latifi fool you. I mean, he might have won by knockout on the body kick, but that was just one of those things. He landed a perfect body kick. You know what I mean? Guys just go out. But Jimmy is clearly the much better striker and probably the more athletic fighter all around. So I'm gonna pick Jimmy first round knockout. Last, the main event, Gabriel Gonzaga versus Mirko Cro Cop. To me, I think this fight is going to be exactly like their first fight, except for without the head kick. I think Gonzaga gets a takedown, and Mirko just doesn't get back up after he gets taken down. And I think Gonzaga wins by TKO or submission in the first round. And I don't think much has changed except for they've both gotten older since then. I still think Gonzaga is probably, I don't think he was ever the better striker. I think he just kind of calmed with the head kick, but I do think he's the better overall fighter, and I think that's going to be the difference. So I'm going to pick Gonzaga by first round TKO or submission. Thanks for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe.